This might be the biggest camera hump we've ever had on a Note, but that also means it might be the most capable. And by taking the lead of the Galaxy S20 Ultra, the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra seems to be refining many of those high-powered features. In a nutshell, however, there is one thing about this and the last few Notes that I will always appreciate. This is the camera phone that literally makes me try some new things, sometimes weird things, because it's able to do so much. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? This is the real-world camera test with the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. Okay, before samples come details and specs, so let's start there. The Galaxy Note 20 Ultra brings the same huge sensor from the Galaxy S20 Ultra, the 108 megapixel monster shooter that employs a lot of pixel binning. This large and high-powered sensor also allows for 8K video recording, but as far as video is concerned, you can do 4K 60 across the board, including with the front-facing camera. Yep, you can get high-resolution video with the 12-megapixel ultra-wide and the 12-megapixel 5x telephoto as well. And due to a combination of extra lenses and hybrid zoom, there are a bunch of different zoom levels that you're going to see in this video. If you're into having that many different options for both photos and videos, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because my Galaxy Note 20 Ultra review is coming really soon. Okay, so those zoom levels. I've said this on multiple occasions by now, but I'm happy that despite the large camera bump, and it is really large, there isn't any marketing on it about space zoom or 100 times or anything like that. It seems that the company clued into this because not only is the writing not there, but the phone is capable of up to just 50 times zoom this time. And that's fine, honestly, because I rarely ever go that far. If anything, levels of up to 10 times are where the magic is because the results are still pretty damn good. And it's the most practical range when going to typical spots like an arboretum with wildlife roaming around. So as per usual, I just go places and I take pictures, trying to hit some of the other modes and features, but really just trying to see how the camera phone fares in a general everyday real-world test. So for a vlogger like myself, things like the front-facing camera are going to be important. Now, this is a 10 megapixel shooter that brings 4K 60 video like I said earlier, and perhaps more importantly, it's just wide enough of a frame that using it on something like a selfie stick or a switch pod makes it a very viable vlogging shooter. But actually, I'm getting ahead of myself because what you're seeing so far is actually near the end of a 2-day long test with these cameras. This all actually started with a perfect opportunity to use some of my favorite features of the Note 20 Ultra, a quarantine birthday celebration. Okay, so I threw on 8K, this is one of the few 8K shots that you'll see from the Pro Video mode, which can be set to record a resolution and frame rate that is different from the Auto mode. That way, if you're used to just going into the auto mode and shooting certain videos, but then you want to get something a little bit different, you can definitely go to Pro Video mode and then it's set already for you. I'm trying to use the pen here, but one thing that you do have to keep in mind is don't move when you're using the pen because you might end up doing one of the gestures. Get still and then hit that button. I'm actually going to stop this right now and change the audio. Now, Pro Video Mode has another trick up its sleeve though, and that's the use of a Bluetooth audio source. Obviously for Samsung, this means using the Galaxy Buds Live as the main tool. It's nice that I'm able to do this and then hear that it started recording by using the button. But now you're hearing the audio straight from the Gear Buds Live. Now in the settings for the Pro Video Mode, it does say that it's a Bluetooth connection, Bluetooth audio connection. Which I'm not sure if it's going to work with other Bluetooth headphones, but the whole marketing point is that it works really well with the 3 microphones in the Gearbuds Live. So that's what you're hearing right now, and hopefully it sounds pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comments. But it's a nice feature, something that we haven't seen in pretty much any phone, that it specifically uses a video recording mode to get audio from a better source. Yay. That actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. But yeah, it would have been nice to get the Gearbuds Live audio setting in other modes, like for example in the regular video mode when you're using, say, the front-facing camera. Case in point, here's the front-facing camera, 4K video recording on the front, which is always really appreciated, and I have the Gearbuds Live in, but the audio is not coming from them. It would be really nice if we can get something like that as a feature in the front-facing camera, because vlogging shots like this, making it very easy for me to set up my shot, get in front of it, see myself, but still get even better audio that's more localized if I move a little bit or if I get farther away from the phone. Those are things that would be really great for front-facing camera features. I used the wide angle to get some good reaction shots when the party started, and as we were showing off some gifts, my brother actually brought a gift box that had these propeller butterflies flying out of the box, which made for some great slow motion shots. Now, one feature that I wanted to use for these situations was single take, which comes from the S20 Ultra and allows you to record 10 seconds worth of a scene to create a bunch of results. It worked fine for getting multiple versions of the same scene, but slow motion for some reason was never one of them here. That was kind of a bummer. I did use the S Pen again to get a couple of photos of the 5 of us who were there, one with the rear camera and one with the front-facing camera. And you can see how the tuning of the front-facing camera is definitely different from the 108 megapixel main sensor. Obviously, this makes sense for the most part, but still, when I look at these two pictures together, I wish that the front-facing camera could get results closer to at least the color of the main sensor. So fast forward once again back to the Arboretum, where I illustrate further why I love Note phones for camera tests like this. Being able to put this thing on a switch pod with a mount, and get it out just far enough to be able to vlog like this, still really fun. Footage like this is just fun to get, and it still looks pretty good with the front-facing camera. So as far as the camera is concerned, is there anything particularly new with the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra? Kind of yes, with things like the Pro Video mode and Bluetooth audio sourcing, but at its fundamental core, the experience of having high-powered lenses and features are a continuation and even refinement of the Galaxy S20 Ultra. And like I said before, maybe far zoom levels aren't your cup of tea, but at least Samsung isn't trying to force all of that upon you as they provide it anyway. I do wish that there was more care put into this front-facing camera, but that's a broken record statement that I've been making all year. And while we're making the rear camera humps bigger and more capable, I just hope that eventually we can get even half of that kind of enhancement on the selfie shooter. But at least in the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, you still have the tools available in the rear camera for shots that can, well, include you. There are other features, of course, like the slow motion, which I showed a little bit earlier on, and then of course the night mode, which is as impressive on the Note 20 Ultra as it was on the S20 Ultra. In this case, I only have a few places where I can do night mode shots because the places that I go to close before the sun goes down. But of course, it's also nice that the night mode can be used on any of the rear lenses, and that's another feature in the do everything Samsung smartphone philosophy. Okay, so when it was all said and done, I still had a battery life of about 20% on the birthday celebration day, and then 15% on the Arboretum day by bedtime. Now, 5 to 6 hours of screen on time might not sound amazing, but you have to remember that I was on the camera a bunch while that screen was on. And in either case, the phone was able to get to the end of the day without making me feel antsy at all. Alright, so I'm working on my full review of this phone, but as we're just talking about the camera right now, I can safely say that the sum of the Galaxy camera parts is definitely key to the experience. You might pay a lot, and if you find yourself unable to justify most of that, then of course that's your decision. But for the camera specifically, having these many tools and features can actually be quite inspiring and even empowering, and that's valuable too. Alright, well, there is a good taste to start off your week of what will probably be full of Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra coverage with a real-world camera test. Thank you so much for watching this particular video. Let me know what you think of all the results in the comment sections down below. From there, you can drop some likes on this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Remember, my review on this behemoth phone is coming very soon. But with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you once again for watching. Please take care of yourselves and each other. And of course, enjoy your tea, everybody.